Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to the virtual living room. It is your girl Lovey, and we are back with another week's recap of our favorite social experiment, Married at First Sight, season 15, episode 2324. But if you want to be technical, this is episode number what? Is it 8? I'm losing track, even though we've been away for a minute, but it's okay. We're here. We're here. And I'm fully coherent of what's going on. So, our usual girl gang that's normally here, everyone is out enjoying the rest of their summer that's left. Again, I said the world is open and we are all outside. So, they are out away doing their thing. But today, I am truly excited to have with me my fellow podcaster here on Pod Break, DJ, who is co host with his lovely wife of Roses and Rejections, where they recap all things of Bachelor and Bachelorette Nation. Hello, DJ.
Hi, Lovey. And I feel like you could include yourself in that as well, as you've been, holding down the fort for us this season. I feel like you're part of the family. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel the love. I do.
good, good.
Yeah, I'm filling in for his wife, Michelle, because they just had a baby.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I am watching The Bachelorette, plural, because there's two of
Yes.
them.
Very special this season.
So it's been very interesting to say the least. And I was a little hesitant in the beginning, but I was reeled in by episode 2 and 3. So I'm good. I'm here. I'm here. Whereas DJ had never seen an episode of Married at First Sight until last night.
First one. First one. Yeah.
And so we are excited to hear what you have to say.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very excited. And of course, being no neophyte to reality television myself, I felt very comfortable watching
Mhm,
this. It wasn't totally out of left field, but
mhm,
it was certainly a thing to watch for
mhm.
sure.
Did you find some parallels to Bachelorette or to The
I
Bachelor?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is what I would call the quote unquote outsiders interact. So you get people's like friends and family, how
Mhm,
they're talking to them, and they're like, "Are you sure about this thing?" And it's like
mhm,
those vibes feel very similar
mhm,
to things that
mhm.
happen in the Bachelor and Bachelorette. Like, are you sure about this?
Right.
But with Married at First Sight, it feels like the stakes are ratcheted to 11.
Yes.
Given the stakes.
Yes. I can't even contain my excitement right now because we have been talking about this for about a month now.
Yes,
And
yes,
I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive on in. So
awesome.
you pretty much get the gist of the show.
I do.
You're
Yes.
okay, so you're marrying at first sight. So we typically go couple by couple.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start with Stasha and Nate.
Stasha and Nate. Okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on them?
So I took notes on pretty much everyone, and
Mm-hmm.
how I like to think of this, for a show like this where it's a couple, and essentially the end point for the show is to stay married, right? That's the win. Is
Right.
if after 6 weeks they stay married, great.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think, okay, who has a shot and who doesn't. So
Okay. So yes,
I
I was going to ask if you had any
okay, yeah,
predictions because we do.
great. Okay, so and again, I've only watched this episode, but what I liked, just real quick, is I felt like, was this like a midway point, or like it felt like very recappy. Like I was getting a lot in the beginning of here's how all the couples are, because I felt like I had a good baseline for more or less where everyone's at.
Yes, like in the
Okay.
beginning of the show where
Yes.
where you see the video of them getting married,
Yeah.
and then the honeymoon, and now they're
Yes.
into real life. Yes.
Right. So Stasha and Nate, I feel like I'll say like a 6 out of 10, like a little better than not. I feel like I didn't get a lot from them out of this episode. I didn't feel like they were like centered around any of like the core conflicts unless I missed it. Like some things I felt like the show put like front and center I don't want to jump around too much, but like for like Miguel and Lindy, for example, right?
Mhm.
Like they had this like very core conflict.
Mhm.
But for like Stasha and Nate, I didn't feel any of that. So I'm like, I felt like pretty good about them. They might make it out of this married. But yeah, no like real strong opinions.
Yes, what the show will typically do is they'll have like one or two couples that will have a major conflict, and then
Okay.
the others will kind of fall by the wayside, where you'll get those like love and tender moments where you think
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, they're gonna make it, but then it's a complete
Yeah.
360 the following week. So Stasha and Nate, they definitely fell into that category.
Okay.
So what they'll do is with the couples, they'll have a housewarming party,
Yes.
because what they'll do is they'll place the couples in one apartment community so that they'll be able to visit one another and hang out with one another, and it's
Oh,
on even
okay.
playing field, because sometimes some of, and I call them contestants, some of the contestants, they'll have their own home, they'll have a house. Like Stasha
Okay.
is a homeowner.
Okay. Are they in her house?
No, they're in
The
communal
community?
apartment.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
Each of the five couples live within that community.
Got it. Okay.
Whereas before, the couples used to have to fend for themselves. They would have to look for their own housing. So
Oh.
if that meant I have a house and you and I get married, you have a house, go ahead and move in with me.
Yeah. Oh
So I'm
wow.
yeah, so I'm glad that they changed it to this, because even Love is Blind, they
Yes.
incorporated that same concept.
Yeah. Oh, so did Married at First Sight take that from Love Is Blind?
No, no, Love
Okay.
is Blind
Okay.
totally took that from
Oh,
them.
they took it from Married. I was watching this. I'm like, this is giving me shades of Love Is Blind, and I knew Married at First Sight came first. So I'm like, did Netflix just like rip this show but add some stuff on the front end?
Pretty much.
And that is interesting. Hmm. Okay.
But Stasha and Nate, I like them. I can't remember. We have someone in our crew that is our assistant, where she takes down our predictions, and I unfortunately forgot to get the
Okay.
predictions. We don't know if they're gonna make it because Stasha is very high maintenance.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Yes, and everything is just very particular. And so you didn't get to see a lot of her personality, but you saw a
Hmm.
little bit, especially when she was talking with friends and family about,
Yep.
yeah.
Hmm. I I always wonder with people like that who are like kind of so high maintenance, and like Mitch kind of falls into this category where he has
Ooh, I can't wait to
his
get to him.
ooh, like very particular ways about them. I'll say I find it shocking that those kind of people would go on the show, because
Hmm.
it feels like it's such an impulsivity. I wanted to ask real quick, is there any kind of matching process, or is it basically names out of a hat and they pair two people together?
So that's what it feels like as a viewer. But
Okay.
they do go through a whole process where
Okay.
they say, quote unquote, they take you through like a psychological exam, and they go
Okay.
to your home and they visit your
Oh
home. And
wow.
oh yeah, they do a lot. They do a
Okay.
lot. But we don't think that they do, because they have been failing. The experts have been failing at the
Oh man.
rate of couples staying together. Because I think the
Mm.
show has been on for like,
Since 2015 was that the
no,
start?
I think it was earlier than that, wasn't it?
Okay.
I believe so. And because I am a day oneer,
Oh wow. Okay.
I've been around since
Whew.
day one, yes. And but it's been around for a really long time. And I want to say they only have maybe 10 couples that are still together.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's not going that great. And then
Yeah.
based on this season, I don't know how
I
much
don't
greater
know.
it's gonna be.
Yeah, so it's just like wild that like someone for like Stasha, like who has like very particular ways, would like go on a show like this and be like, "Yep, I'll marry a stranger." Um,
Well,
I don't
most
know.
oftentimes they'll feel as though it's the last resort.
I
Like, I'm
get
not
that.
finding what I want. Either they feel as though it's the last resort, or maybe I'm not doing something that's taking me in the right direction to meet that person. So maybe it'll take for
Hmm.
an expert to do it for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's them. So we're gonna see if a baby is gonna come along because Tasha feels as though her biological clock is exploding right now.
Yeah, that was I was like, "Honey, oh man, like you gotta know. You gotta know." Or and I hate to say this, but I don't know, it's 2022. Like if you feel so strongly, like there are ways that you could, like go to a sperm bank. Like you don't need a man, right? I mean, I know it
Hmm.
makes it a lot harder, but if it's something that like is part of your core, it's staying, or you gotta like freeze your eggs or something.
Hmm.
But it's like it's not something you can like leave to chance, right?
Right, right. But with Nate, I feel as though he's really not ready. I think he just
No.
thought that,
Mm-mm.
hey, this is a reality show. I'll get my 5 minutes of fame. Because one
Yeah.
thing that I really didn't like was how he kept indicating, this is me. What I've been doing so far has worked. And why do I need to change? And I'm like, well, why are you here? The whole
Yeah.
point of you being here is to do something out of the ordinary and
Mhm.
to trust the process.
Yeah, I don't think so either, unfortunately.
But we'll see. They're a cute couple. They are.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes beauty doesn't always get you
No.
far, right?
I like Stasha more than I like Nate. I
Really?
actually yeah, honestly, yeah. I feel like I like more of the women than the men, but we'll see as we go through.
Yeah, I can
Some
see
of us
that.
some was 50-50 where I'm like, I don't like both of you.
Okay, all right.
I
So,
have I have somewhere it falls into that category where I'm like, both of you, no.
okay,
Sorry.
okay. I have a feeling I think I know who that is.
Okay.
Do you have any other notes on Stasha and
On
Nate?
these two, no. These are like the ones I had the least notes on.
Okay,
Um, I have some on other. I mean, you'll see when we get there, but I got a
okay,
lot on one guy.
okay. So let me take a guess. Are you referencing Ben and Morgan?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's
Both of
go
them.
ahead
I'm
and
like,
get into it.
neither of you, neither of you. I just both you both to leave.
Yes, as but one of my co-hosts, Belinda would say, "Call your mama. Tell your mama to come get you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Morgan, I think she just likes to hear herself talk,
Oh
and I
God.
think that she enjoys complaining. You know, there's some people that just doesn't feel right unless they're bitching about something.
They find something, just
Hmm.
something to make an issue of. And
Hmm.
oh man, when she was, so I think it was early in the episode, and she was like Zoom calling her friend who was driving.
He
What
looked
the
like he
heck?
pulled over,
Yes,
like
at
in.
some point he did park, right? But I'm like, this could have been done like 5% better. But like this girl, it's like, oh yeah, he's like an older brother that I never had. And they're talking, it's like she's like, oh, you didn't come to my wedding. And he was like, Yup.
Right.
Just like threw that out there.
Mhm, mhm.
It was like, and like, what's interesting is when they were talking to the friends, it seems like a lot of people come to this wedding. Like it seems you get those who are close to you and they come to the wedding.
Mhm.
Is that usually how it goes?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
and then there's times where there's families and family that will not purposely come.
Oh gosh. I mean, I could imagine. I mean, like if I were in the scenario where, one of my single friends calls me up and they're like, hey, I'm going on Married at First Sight. You want to come to the wedding? I'm like, hell yeah. I am there with bells on. Let's go. I'm going to this thing. I don't feel like I need to bring that big of a gift. I assume production has it.
Right.
I don't know if you're
Right.
gonna stay together. I'll give you a little something, but
Right.
pressure's off me. Get to party. Uh
Right. 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 Right.
but
Right.
but like this guy just like didn't get into it, and I'm like, Morgan, this like really like like your fate, whatever, someone you see as a brother, and like you're not, he didn't come to your wedding.
But
But
yet
like
I'm gonna call you for advice.
and he was just like, yeah, I think you need to open up. I'm like, this is like the least insightful thing. There must have been someone you could have gone to better than this guy, and it just seems to me like maybe she doesn't have a lot of friends.
I don't think she does. I really
Yeah.
don't. And you missed it in the earlier episode. She does oh, what is the name of that? Is it Muay Thai?
Oh, Muay Thai,
Muay
the martial art.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Muay Thai. Yeah, yeah,
Muay Thai,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
that's her thing.
Okay, that's intense.
Yes, it is. So as you can see, she's kind of an intense person. She needs to loosen
Yeah,
up, as the guy was telling her. You need to be vulnerable, in order to be a part of the process. And I say that every season. If you
Yeah,
are going to be in a process like this, and this can be applied to the Bachelorette too, you have
absolutely.
to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to allow that person to be able to come in.
Yep.
And Morgan, has problems with that. But getting back to the Muay Thai,
Hmm.
she and her best friend were, I guess they were sparring against each other, and she kicked her tooth out.
Whoa! Oh my
And,
gosh.
and so the friend was at the wedding or prior to the wedding, and she was like, "Yeah, we're best friends," and but she kicked my tooth out, and we were like, what?" And the tooth is like either crooked or she has a gap in it. We were
I
like, "Oh
can't.
no, you would get this fixed. You would be paying for it." So yes, that's
Well,
Morgan.
a few things. One, I mean, I hate to victim blame, but you gotta wear a mouth guard. That's why they have those things, right?
Right.
You gotta wear a
Mm-hmm.
mouth guard. But like, two, like, man, that is a crazy laissez-faire way to be about something like that. Like that
Mm-hmm.
might, even if it's an accident, like it's like, look, we got to put this friendship on hiatus.
Right.
I can't like this. Oh my god. So that's Morgan, right? And again, I'm seeing all this for the first time. I might go back and watch because I'm there's some things I want to see. There's some honeymoons I definitely want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so there's Morgan, but then there's Ben, and like he's no prize either. Like I want to feel bad for him, but I can't
Mm-mm.
because he has like no emotional intelligence.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. None. None. It's yeah.
So
And they were the last to get married because he caught
okay.
COVID
Oh,
around the
oh
time
wow.
when they were supposed to have had their wedding. And oddly enough, Morgan, when the experts called her to tell her that he had COVID, she was just like, her first response was, "So we have to push back the wedding. So we're not getting married."
Ah,
Not, is he
is he
okay?
okay?
And she's a nurse. That's what bogged my entire
Oh
system.
man.
Like, you're a nurse. You would think that the first thing out of your mouth would be like, "Oh no, is he okay?" But no, no, she was just like, "Oh, all these people that have been invited. Oh, this has to be on hold. It's a mess.
That's
It's a mess."
backwards. Oh my gosh. Okay. I like her even less.
Eh,
Didn't think it was possible.
yeah, she's not a fan favorite. She's not.
Okay.
She's not. Oh, but I forgot to tell you. Speaking of weddings, going back to Stasha and Nate, which
Okay.
you might have to go back and watch this. So Nate has a friend named Megan,
Okay.
and at the well, they had the opportunity to sit their friends and family down to break the news to them. Hey, I'm going on Married at First Sight,
Oh
right?
man.
With the camera crew all there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Megan had this look on her face like, what?
Oh, dude. Was
Like,
she into
what?
him?
Yes, she was just like,
Oh.
"Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God." So at the reception, it's Megan, Stasha, and Nate. And she was just like, "You're part of the family now, and you could call me anytime you need some advice,
Oh boy.
and we could go hiking together." And she started crying.
Oh my god.
So we were like,
Uh
okay, so obviously Nate and Megan have bumped uglies.
oh yeah. And she's like, that needs to be me in the in the
Hmm.
wedding dress. Oh my god. That is crazy though, because it's like, hey, I'm going to marry for sight. It's not like, hey, I'm dating someone else, and you're like, oh, maybe I could like win her back. It's like I'm
Right,
taking the ultimate and final step
right.
because I have no other recourse.
Hmm.
It's like a
So
slap in the face somehow. Oh my
it's going to
god.
be interesting if Megan reappears at some point throughout the season. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I'm kind of hoping on that because I want to see how Sasha acts. But Ben and Morgan, yes, he messed up big time on the honeymoon. I think you heard her say that,
Yeah, and he
which
was
you
real
did hear her say,
cagey
because she
about
said it
it.
I don't know how many times.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
he like wouldn't talk about it, which I mean, I felt weird because look, sometimes you don't want to air your dirty laundry in front of your friends.
Hmm.
However, you're on a reality dating or TV show, so those rules kind of go out the window. So it's like maybe, hey, yeah, you gotta just say the things that happened. I guess they're strangers to the people who you're just being for the first time, your spouse's friends, right?
Right,
Or maybe you saw him at the wedding, but essentially strangers. So maybe you don't want to air it out, but I don't know, man, go for it. Like
right.
it's weirder when you don't say it because then people's imagination start running wild, and it's like, oh my god, did you
Hmm.
like? like slash her throat. Like what? Like it's just like, come on, man, just talk about it. We've all had fights, just whatever, be an adult about it.
Right, right.
No
Yeah.
couple has ever gone, oh no, we've never had an argument. We've just been perfect, So
Yeah. Yeah. They're not gonna make it.
no.
I have to sing my song. They're not gonna make it. No, they're gonna make it. They're not gonna make it.
Does everyone have to get to 6 weeks, or could someone just like pull the ripcord and be like, nope, done. I cannot look at this person anymore.
There have been
Okay.
couples that have quit early on.
I'm sure
Early
production's
on.
not too happy about it because they're like, hey, we wanted you to fill time, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing producers encourage them, no, stick with it, see what happens. It's only
Yeah.
another month or whatever.
Yeah, they send them back into war. That's what I say.
Nice.
I was
I
like,
love that.
yeah, they're like, get back in the game. There's
I
no crying in marriage.
yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, there's been times where it is painful to watch because you want to see them leave or you know that they need to leave. But
I
production just constantly talks them right back into it.
I think there might be a couple in this season who needs to both leave.
It's not Ben and Morgan.
No, I have another one in mind, but
Okay.
maybe I just saw them on a bad episode. Like maybe it's like
No, it's been like
than...
that since they appeared.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not gonna make it. We said that even before they got married.
Oh, I mean the couple I have in mind. Maybe the one I'm thinking of is like no good.
Who are
Or
you
like
thinking
it
of?
was on.
Wait. Any
Okay.
other comments on Ben and Morgan?
No, I'm good with Ben and Morgan. Yeah, both just out of here. I'm no.
Okay, who's the mystery couple that's not gonna make it?
I can't remember the guy's name, but I think it's Alicia and
Oh, Alexis and Justin.
Alexis and Justin. Thank you. Yeah,
Mhm.
was it just this episode that was a bad episode? Because it seems like they just kind of need to go.
So it started last week because his dog, which you heard them kind of reference,
Yeah.
bit her dog and scratched his eye.
Yeah, I saw that picture. Like, I almost cried. That was like, I'm a big dog person, animal person, like in general. And I will go on. I'll wait to. Yeah.
So yes, this week Justin and Alexis' journey hit a few speed bumps along the way. I could understand her point because he is a little vague. It's just like things that are kind of important, especially when you know how much he cares for. I call him Mr. Wiggles because what's his name? Newton, the dog.
Newton, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
You know, there are some dog moms that revere their dog as though that their child, right?
Oh yeah.
And we knew that early on, that's how she sees Newton. And so Justin, I keep losing track of his name because I listen to other podcasts on the show.
Okay.
And there's this one group that calls him Tree because he's so tall.
He's so tall. Yeah, figure that. That's pretty good.
Right. But Justin, you know, he and no offense to you, my dear DJ.
Oh, it's okay.
But sometimes you guys, men, forget stuff.
We do.
Or you kind of have like a nonchalant attitude about it. You know, it's kind of important if your dog is, even if it's mildly aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that needs to be pointed out. And so his thing is that she's never had an issue in the past. But the problem that I had was that they didn't do a good job at introducing the dogs. Okay. But as soon as Maya saw Newton, she instantly showed teeth.
Oh, man. That's like red flag number one.
Number one. That's how the attack happened. So she's just upset. And I would be upset too because that could have been totally avoided.
Yeah.
And that's an unnecessary bill at this point.
Yeah. So for Alexis, I felt watching her, I felt like I totally got where she was coming from. And I thought she communicated herself very well.
Very well.
Even at like the house party, the 90s theme house party, when she was like, and again, she was like pretty open and honest with her friends. So I was like, this is good. Like, this seems healthy. We're like, she seems, I feel bad because she seems like she's ready for this, but I don't think she's with the right guy. Cause like, I think she might need like more of that. I don't want to say like words of affirmation, just more of like maybe over communicating. And maybe it's just that Justin's bad at it. right? And maybe
Mhm.
she could settle for an average level of communication. But like she definitely comes off as like emotionally mature and like ready for a relationship, understand what it
Mhm.
entails. But like the if you if you have any doubts about how your dog might act around another dog, or if it seems like that, like you got to bring it up. And I mean, I'm surprised she didn't just walk away when that happened, because I'm sure for some people it's a deal breaker.
Mhm.
But maybe it is because she's like a better person than I am, and she's like, oh, I'll see it through because et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, she's
Um,
very adamant about seeing this through because
yeah, I get
yes,
that.
yeah, because actually she and Justin's paths had crossed on a dating
Okay.
website, on
Oh,
a
well,
dating app,
okay.
and she bypassed him several times, and he kept hitting her up, but she was just
Oh,
like, no. But then come to find out, this is who she was matched
oh
with.
man. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so tough.
it is. And so but she came around and she likes him. She likes him, but there are these little things that are now popping up. And what really bothered me is I like how affectionate they are with each other by calling each other babe or
Yeah.
baby, but
hmm
in the midst of an argument, I don't like hearing but baby. And I think that they feel if
Yeah.
they're starting it with but baby or babe, it's softening the blow. And it's not.
Not
So
yeah. It's because tone matters and
mhm,
context matters. And that's why, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm like being too extreme by saying, oh, they just need to stop. But I feel bad for her because this seems really difficult for her.
mhm,
Like not that this would be easy, but an outsized amount of difficulty. You don't want to see anyone go through that, especially good people. And she seems
mhm,
like a good person. So, like, you're a good person. You maybe could find a good man, through quote unquote normal channels. Um,
mhm.
but you're here, and I don't think Justin's a bad guy, but maybe not the right guy for her.
So no, he isn't a bad guy, but he's immature.
Okay, yeah,
I view him as being immature because prior to coming into this, he had been engaged before and they were on the verge of getting married, but the girl left. And he was
right,
so distraught behind it that he moved to a whole nother state. And his family was just
yeah,
like, what? Why are you leaving? Why did you leave? And so when he tried to explain to them that he was going to be a part of this process, his brother, which of whom raised him, pretty much from I think he said from 15 or 16 to 19. Oh, he was dead ass against it. I can't believe this.
Ugh.
I've seen what you went through when you were engaged. So you
And
talking
now you're
about
gonna
going
be,
into a whole ass marriage? Oh
yeah.
no. But once he met Alexis, he was comforted. Like, oh, okay, you know what? He would be in
Oh
good
my
hands.
god, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
if I were a parent meeting Alexis, I'd be like, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
And
should be
cause
so lucky.
right, because she does seem intellectually mature, very
Yeah.
mature. She's very intentional and she knows what she wants. Whereas Justin, he's a crier.
Yeah.
He is a crier. Oh my gosh, he is so sensitive. And she understands that. What I do like about Alexis is that she does understand the man that she has,
hmm
and she tries to cater to his feelings, but it's kind of hard when you need to be direct with him. So
Yeah. Yeah.
eh,
What was really hard for me was the scene where they were fighting and they weren't even on camera. It was like the off camera fight where
oh,
it
thank
seemed
God
like
for
it
closed
happened like
circuit
overnight.
TV. Hmm.
Yeah. Ugh. That's the benefit of doing it in a controlled environment as opposed to
Hmm.
someone's house, right? You
Hmm.
get to see the whole thing. That was one of the benefits Love is Blind has, is they got some juicy moments from that. But just like as a viewer, I and like if it were if it were like Ben and Morgan, I'd be like, yeah, tear each other to pieces. I don't care. But I'm like, no, Alexis, you're so pure. And even in that like heated argument, like I don't think she comes off like well. It's hard when you're in that moment to come off well, but I understood what she was saying
Hmm.
versus like Justin, who was just kind of saying gibberish,
Yeah,
and just like
like
trying changing and pivoting. And I
right.
think it's that thing where you're in the wrong, but you're trying to pivot because you can't cede any ground,
Hmm. Hmm.
which is a shame because Alexis feels like the person, if you were like to admit, hey babe, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I messed up, where she would have like jumped down your throat. Like
Hmm.
she would approach you with some grace.
Right. And the fact that she's had to mention over and over again, could you stop being vague with
Yep.
the information that you're relaying? Again, I totally agree with her because now you feel as though, okay, so this is completely going over your tall ass head. It's like the message is not being received. So I want them to work out because they do like each other, but
I feel like I want it to work out for her. I want her to find happiness, and if he and she can find it with him, and he can get his act together, then great. But like, I want her to find a good man.
yeah, but he has the potential of turning it around, and I think
Okay.
Alexis is what he needs. He doesn't need someone
Yes.
that's passive or
Hmm.
even passive aggressive. No, I need someone who's direct and is going to put me in my place.
Yeah, he needs an alpha, and
Mhm.
like that's how it works sometimes,
Mhm.
or like not sometimes, like probably half the time, right?
Right.
Probably like two people together, one of them will be the alpha, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's two alphas over, and
Mhm.
then two betas, it's even more over.
Mhm.
Nothing
Mhm.
worse than watching two passive aggressive people not being able to figure their shit out.
Right. Right. That part. Oh,
It's like, oh, just end it. You're both awful.
yes. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they turn things around. Hoping.
Yeah.
Oh, we pulling for you, Justin and Alexis. We'll
Yes,
see.
absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about Lindy and Miguel.
Oh my goodness, Lindy and Miguel. This one, there's a probably the most complex couple, at least in this episode, but also probably because they got a lot of screen time and had this whole little mini arc going on. The the last name health insurance debate. Tale as old as time, am I right?
So I'm confused. Do you not need his health insurance or do you not? Because one minute you're arguing this man down, talking to him like he's pure shit on the street. But then the next minute, I don't need your health insurance. Oh, but I want your health insurance. And
I
I'm confused.
I thought she was just saying like I don't need it in insofar as well if I get hit by a car I get hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like the I don't need no man like I don't need
Mm-hmm.
no health insurance like it's like independent woman thing and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know man. I guess technically not everyone needs health insurance, but God forbid you do get hit by a car. It was tough. I understood where she was coming from, but there were points where she just was not explaining herself well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn it, lady, just say words better and I can get behind you. I feel like that happens a lot just on every reality TV show. We're like, I understand what's inside your head, but your words are poor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's a worrywart
Oh, man.
through and through. And she has this thing where she feels as though she wants Miguel to make his decision today. Like, I need you
Yes.
to confess that we're going
Uh,
to stay together and you're going to fall in love with me. It's just like, girl, you barely in the thick of it. Let the process happen.
seriously. We're what, like a third of the way through
Mm-hmm.
before? Okay, yeah, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. She's someone who I'm like, I understand why you went on this show. And somehow, even this show's not fast enough for her.
Yeah.
Somehow,
Yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
So she, right, there's this conflict where, oh, I don't want to. So she's like, I don't want to take your last name. So she's a doctor, right? So she's doctor, whatever. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I completely understand not wanting to take someone's last name if you have a sort of professional pride in it. Some people that I have a cousin, she got married later in life and she's an artist and she like her like your name is your career, right?
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
that's how you make your bread and butter. And she didn't change her last name because she couldn't, and she still has it. And like, good for her. They're still married. They've been married for like 10 years, right? And like, I understand that like what's part of professional pride. It's just that I felt like the way she was saying it just came off kind of like really because like all of her reasons were like I'll take your name if you're more in it. It's like, well, wait, do you care that he's not in it, or do you care like no, my last name means so much to me that I really can't see myself changing it. Like I didn't get that point of pride from her totally. It was like, I'll take your name when you prove to me that I can take your name.
And the thing is that this is relatively early for them to be talking about
Mm,
taking a last name.
Okay.
But I understand Miguel's point, and I have my thoughts on Miguel, but I agree with him
Okay.
on this one. Okay, you want something as big as for me to put you on my insurance? Are you
Yeah.
going to take my last name?
Yeah.
What are you giving me in return?
Yeah.
So I get
Right.
it.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? Because she's like leaving the door open where she's like, "Yeah, I'll take your last name eventually, but like
Hmm.
not right now." And I'm like, "Well, pick a side, right?" Because if she were to come off, if the conflict was, "I'm never going to take your last name. I'm sorry, this is like a fine red line for me. I cannot cross it." Then it's a
Hmm.
different conversation, right?
Hmm.
Then maybe it's like, well, then maybe you two can't get married because if it means so much to him, then
Hmm.
that's that. Sorry.
Hmm.
But if there is wiggle room there, why are you being so cagey about it? And for him, I saw where he was coming from, but like, I don't know. Some of the stuff was just like, well, you take my last name because that's what we say. And I I sympathize for him where it's like, yeah, I'm still opening it up and going through and blah blah blah, but eventually you're gonna take my last name, right? Like they were both missing each other in the argument, and I felt like coming off kind of eh.
Well, part of the reason why Lindy feels the way that she does is because it's crystal clear that Miguel literally has one leg in and one leg out the door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's just like, I mean, we can't guarantee that this is going to work in 8 weeks. So I can't guarantee that I'm going to fall in love
Mm.
with you by the time this is over.
Oh, no.
And he's vocalized that. I get why she feels the way she does, but she's going about it all the wrong way.
Yeah, and that's interesting that he has said that because 'cause I'm like, "Well, dude, what are you doing here? This might not be
Mm-hmm.
the show for you."
Mm-hmm.
If that's,
Mm-hmm.
like, how you I'm like, unless your thought was, "I'll go on and it'll click," and, like, you can't guarantee that, right?
Right.
But it's almost she needs, like, not like a carbon copy of her, but she needs someone in that mindset where, like, "Let's go right now."
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if there are any guys who fall into that category. I mean, maybe just not from what I saw this week, but yeah, that's like they're missing each other and they're like wants and needs.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
it'll
I
work out.
Yeah, because in the beginning we really liked them as a couple. We were just like, oh, they're great.
I could see them being cute.
Yeah, they're really, really cute. I mean, and they talk to each other. That's why it's a little confusing as to why they were butting heads this week because they talk about any and everything with one another, which is what you want in a
Mm,
partner. But the biggest problem that I had with Lindy this week is you can't talk to that man like that and
yeah,
expect to have some form of respect given back to you.
exactly. Yeah, it's true.
I can't stand hearing couples talk to one another like that. It's just like, use your words, beloved.
Yeah,
You
it
don't
can't be
have
like
to
a
drop the F bomb.
right. Oh man, that would and it's getting so heated about it, and that's one of the things too, where it's like that's such an important conversation that you got to have it level headed. And
Hmm.
if you're getting all up in your emotions, it's like, hey, let's just
Take a
pause,
break.
take a
Yeah.
break.
Hmm.
We'll talk about this later, talk about it tomorrow. We just can't talk about it now.
Hmm.
It's not the most pressing thing in the world. You got some pause on it. Look, I mean, I don't think any serious health emergency is going to happen to you while you're on this show. You're kind of in like this bubble, and you're as long as you don't go to Muay Thai class, your teeth aren't going to get kicked out. So you'll probably be fine. And it's like, man, if she's going to take your name, she'll take your name. Work it out, right?
Hmm.
So that's a tricky one. That's real
Hmm.
tricky.
I like them. So I really hope that they can turn this around.
Yeah, Miguel was like talking to his one friend, the I think the bald guy, or maybe
Hmm.
the like he felt like the voice of the audience, where it's like, hey man, you sure about this? And Miguel's like,
Hmm.
I think I'm kind of sure about it. And then he's like, don't you gotta be really sure?
Right.
Like, like he sounded like that guy was married. Yeah, because I think his wife went with him to the party. But yeah, it's like there's a level of this where you really gotta be sure what you're going in with. And Miguel's like, we'll see what happens. But I love that this show has just in general the casual doing an activity while talking about the show with a friend. So like they were like playing ping pong, but like talking about, and it's weird, right? Because like they're basically talking about the plot. Like if this were a
Hmm.
written show, it'd be like, let me catch you up. But I just love that trope of reality shows when it's like, talk to your buddy about what's going on in the show. Because every reality show use it. It's such a like good trope because it's like cheap, easy content because
Right.
two friends can usually talk to each other like flawlessly.
Right.
And it's good for newbies like me who need to be caught up.
Right. Right. And then one thing that I I could appreciate, the friends and family, the one girl, I think she's great
Yes.
costume where she
Yes.
was like, "But is he really funny?"
I love that so much. The like, and but that's like a real thing. It's like, so you're laughing at all this stuff. Does he really make you laugh? And she's like,
Mhm.
yeah. And it's like, all right, as long as it's genuine laughter. Like, I don't think she cared if he was funny, but she cared that her friend wasn't putting one on
Right,
to
right,
like,
right,
just like put an appearance. It's like,
right.
hey, it's important to be with someone who makes you laugh, but don't force it, my dude.
Because she was like, "'Cause he's not that funny to me." I'm like, "Oh, all right. Well, say how you really feel."
That's my other overused trope is when they get the friend who says what they're really thinking. I
Uh-huh.
love it. I love it
Uh-huh.
so much.
I don't know. I hope they work out because they are really cute with one another.
Yeah, and like Miguel seems like, I don't know, at the end he was like, "Okay, I'll put you on my health insurance." Like they got to a resolution where he's like, "Okay, I understand." Like he doesn't seem unreasonable. He just seems pretty firm in something. Also like unsteady is probably the big thing, right? Is he's, like you
Mhm.
said, 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Mhm.
Where are we
Mhm.
going?
Right, right. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Oh, and I don't know if you heard, or I don't know if they mentioned it, but he's a huge Dungeons and Dragons
Okay,
enthusiast.
I wrote this down. So she must have been talking to her friends and was like listing one of the things, and she said D&D, and like I should have went back to hear it, but I'm like I must have missed that because there's no way. But that's amazing. I don't know if I've told you this, Lovey, but I also played Dungeons and Dragons.
Really?
Yeah. Michelle too. I actually got her into it in college.
Oh,
I like because she was into that kind of like fantasy stuff. So I'm like, do you want to try this out? And she was like, yeah. So I got my hooks into her. So and this was like before we were dating, like we were just friends. So
so you guys dress up too?
we don't LARP. We do just like the tabletop playing. So like
Okay.
if you've ever watched like Stranger Things, like what they do with just
Mm-hmm.
like the playing on tabletop, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does he do LARPing? Like does
He
he get
does.
dressed up and go,
He
oh,
does. That's how
that
we were introduced to him.
that is a level beyond where I have gone. Like I'm not a big dress up guy. Like even when I go to conventions, like I don't really dress up. Like
Right.
I nothing against it. I think I chalk it up to laziness. I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
t-shirt, let's go.
Oh yeah.
So
He's
no,
all
I've
in.
I've never done the dress up. Okay, so wow, so he's wow, okay.
Yeah.
And is she like, no, I will never.
No, she was just because he brought it to her attention after they got married. Because immediately after the ceremony, when they walk back down the aisle together, they have some time to sit one on one, ask
Okay.
each other a few questions here and there. And he gave her a little D&D trinket, like,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
this is me, and I love Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh,
and
was his miniature, like his like little guy?
I forgot what it was, but it was I can't
Okay.
remember what it was. But yeah. And
Oh
she was
wow.
just like, "Oh, I love that you like stuff like that. Oh my
Oh
God."
wow.
So that's why we were just like, okay, this might work. Because we was just like, what in the freak of the week is this?
I right because some people it just no and like look there's a lot of stuff out there and I
Mm-hmm.
get it and it's if it's not your bag it's not your bag but if you could like even tolerate it yeah go
Mm-hmm.
for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those people like typically do find each other though. That's so strange. You like if he's a larper that like I know people who do that and like that's how they meet. Like that's how they
Yeah.
form families and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they could turn things around, and Lindy, oh, she calms herself down. Sit down,
I
girl.
know.
You're
I
a
know.
physical therapist. Work on yourself.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do that.
It's like Daryl from The Office. You got to access your uncrazy side.
Right, right.
And then we
That
can yeah.
is such a true statement. Such a true statement. Yeah, so we're pulling for them. Do you think that they'll work?
If I'm being honest, no. I don't think Miguel's gonna have like the in it to say yes. Now maybe it'll change. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna go back. I'm definitely gonna finish out the season. Because I
Oh,
can't like yeah, I
good.
can't not see how these stories come out.
Oh,
Going, going
nice.
back might be a little much, but like because it's one a week, right? Like one,
Yes.
yeah,
But it's 2 hours. 2 hours
yeah,
each week. Yeah.
easy, no problem. Even if I gotta watch it over 2 days, I'm watching. Like, I'm in.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have you back?
If you guys want,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
sure.
All right.
Hey, I'm here for it. All right. So, oh God, here we go.
This is it, right? This is the last one.
This is it. This is the last one. I don't know how I feel about making Jello shots in the ketchup containers.
Ooh.
Oh, Mitch. Kristen with a Y and Mitch. Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, so as you've already talked to tell, Mitch is the resident save a whale, save a tree type of environmentalist.
Mm-hmm.
Where he filters his own water because no one should ever drink water with fluoride. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With the reusable bag for the snacks written on it saying reusable.
Yep, yep, yep.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the little clip? Wait, did you see the little clip where she was talking with her friend and they showed what his stove looks like?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So his whole house looked like that.
Oh no.
He's in an apartment. He's in a small little dwelling, which by the way, pause. I have to point this out because I'm the apartment person.
Okay, gotcha.
So they're in California and San Diego.
Yep.
Of course, we all know California is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Those apartments that they're renting are starting at 3,500.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Mm-hmm. So I haven't
that's more than my mortgage. If anyone was
right,
curious, that's literally more than my mortgage.
right.
So, oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, do they have two bedrooms? I can't remember if they have two bedrooms.
Oh my
Because they
god.
have two bedrooms and they're teetering on 4,000. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just had to throw that out there.
Oh
But
my
for
god.
Mitch's apartment, it was disgusting. His tub was disgusting.
Oh my.
The stove was ridiculously nasty. He is just not the cleanest person. And uh, but they managed to get along though.
She seems very accommodating.
Oh, absolutely.
Kristen is a pleaser.
Absolutely.
Also in the way that they talk about later when they're together, like all the guys and all the girls, like separately.
Mhm.
How many of you have consummated the marriage, my guys? And Mitch is like all day, all night, and I'm like, wow, man, I hate you because you do not deserve her. Like, oh,
Oh, but you missed it.
ah,
Oh,
oh,
but you missed it during the
oh
honeymoon
no, oh no.
because up until okay, so on the in the middle of their honeymoon, he still had no sparks for her. Like
Okay.
this is just how janky Mitch is. When he was at the altar and they were waiting for Kristen to come down, her mom came out first. So he was like, "Is that my wife? Is that my wife?"
No.
And so the officiant was like, no, that's the mom. So if you like what you see, that's an indicator of what your bride would look like. Then at the reception, he went and had a conversation with the mom. Oh, I thought you were my wife, and blah, 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 blah,
Oh
blah,
my
and
god,
da, da, da,
smack
da,
this dude
da.
upside the head. Oh my god.
But he, not one time did he give Kristen a compliment. He was like, oh, I like women who are natural. And then when they went to his
Uh
individual confession, he was like, it's so stupid, her being in a gown and all that makeup. And it's just so stupid. And everything is just stupid. Why do we have a cake? It's just so stupid. Right. So they go on the honeymoon, still no sparks. But he tells her, I don't have any I don't have any feelings for you. And, and he cried about it because he had time to be able to call his family. I think it's his brother. And he told him, he was just like, just give it some time. All of this is brand
yeah.
new. So he went back to the room to tell her. And she was, she kind of, she expressed how she felt about what he had said. With her explaining her emotions, that turned him on.
Oh wow.
And so he made an attempt to have sex. Then, yeah, they met because they didn't have sex on the honeymoon. They waited to have
Okay.
sex until they got home.
Okay.
So Mitch is an all around Mitch. Mm-hmm.
I so I he's
Talk
like
to me.
yeah, oh man, he's the one like the season where like he's on screen and it's like, oh, do I need a drink? Do I gotta What do I gotta take care of? I gotta not watch this guy. So I have so many notes on him. At one point, I wrote Mitch can go straight to hell.
Oh.
And well, you know what it was? He was shit talking the dog. He like said
Oh,
one
poor
point,
Luna.
oh my god, he said, I can't repeat verbatim because I can't remember, but he did call the dog useless. And he
He
like
did.
refer and that's what I wrote down. Mitch can go straight to hell. I that is in my notes app because that's how much I'm mad at this guy. Cause like, look, if he was some kind of like, okay, oh my god, there's so much to unpack. Can I start with the environment stuff?
Yeah, go ahead.
I respect anyone's need to want to make this place a make this world, literally our bright blue ball, a better place after they spend their time on this earth.
Mhm,
However, I feel like there are limits, and
mhm,
you need to acknowledge that you cannot absolutely, unless you're going to go live in the woods or go be like a monk or something. There are limits to how you can be this like super, conservationist and no single use plastic. Like, there's a limit to it. Like, is it like, if does he have one of kids, or is Mitch like no kids? I don't want to have kids.
he's not opposed to it, but,
Apparently not.
he does understand that he's 41, which
Yeah,
is
right.
a curveball in itself. He's 41, she's 32.
Yeah, I saw that on the Chiron, and I'm like, okay,
Mhm,
then.
mhm,
But hey, man, if you have kids, you're not going to use diapers. That's single-use plastic. They're not compostable. You use cloth diapers. Maybe that's good. What do you like? Gallons of milk, man? That's single-use plastic. I was just thinking, I'm like, how do you avoid this? It is very hard to live in a world where you totally avoid that. Maybe he does. Maybe he brings metal straws everywhere. I mean, it's easier if you're in California, right? A lot more paper straws, less plastic bags, da da da.
mhm, mhm.
But like, man, let her buy the shot glasses. Why? Just, you can reuse them if you want to, my dude. Just, you're like, I feel like you're putting, and one of her friends brought this up. He is putting this like pressure on her that like you must conform to this way. And what does he have to do for her, huh?
Right,
What's his give?
right,
It sounds like it's your way or the highway.
right.
And
That's
and she's
exactly
a
how it
pleaser.
is.
I hate it. It's so frustrating. Ugh.
Right. It is, and I want her to come with her own demands.
Damn right. Damn
Yeah,
right.
and stop. And like you said, she is conforming to his way. But if you ask her how things are going, oh my God, it's so great, and
I
we're the best of friends, and we talk about everything, and that,
I can't figure it out. I don't know if it's Stockholm syndrome, desperation. I That's the weird thing too. She's like, "Oh man, I'm 32. It's over for me. Stop, stop it."
hmm
This,
you hear that a lot on Married at First Sight. Well, this is my last ditch effort, girl. You are only 30,
yeah,
32.
yeah. Come on. I I don't know where this, like, what happened in our society that like it's not like the Victorian ages where like if you have not wed and had 5 children by the time you're 23, it's over for you.
Right,
Off to the
right.
farms. It's 2022. You have agency. Like, it's wild to me that people think like that.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. I think she's watched too many rom-coms,
Ooh.
and she
Yeah.
feels as though she needed to put this pressure on herself because she is 32. And
I
32
hate,
is so
I
young.
hate that. I hate
It's so
that.
young.
I'm like guessing, but that is an unfortunate circumstance of probably being around a lot of people your age who are married. So you lose perspective. You're like, oh, all these
True.
people around me are married, and you
True.
kind of lose your head.
Mhm.
Or just like I don't know, it's like an overused trope, and I sound like an old man, but like the Instagram generation. It's like it's a real thing, all right? It's a real thing. She's 32, she's probably on Instagram, she's probably not on TikTok. If she were like 23 or 22, she'd be like, bah, no worries. And
Right.
by the time those people are 32, they'll be like, ah, whatever. I
Right.
figured this shit out.
Right. And then I can't remember which one. Well, I want to say it was Morgan. It may have been Morgan or it may have been Kristen that had said, "This is not how I imagined things going." I think it was Morgan. But she was like, "This is not how I imagined it going." And I mentioned that it's supposed to be fun and we were gonna fall in
Uh,
love. And so I, again, this is another one of my things that I say every single season. People go into people of Married at First Sight. They go into this romanticizing what marriage is.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take a whole lot to understand that it is, in fact, work. Is it hard? It's only as hard as you make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you've been in a long term relationship, and long term, I would say like a year or better, I would say a year and a
Mhm.
half, 2 years,
Yeah.
you honestly know what it takes to make it work, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they've been watching too many J Lo movies.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
oh,
true.
it's supposed to be my knight in shining armor, and it's just gonna be great, and we're gonna get along, and we're gonna be in love. No, that's not how. Which I could appreciate this show so much because they do show what not to do.
Yeah, it's true. It's like you could do a clinic like not or like what not to do, right?
Mhm.
It's interesting. So you had mentioned previously when we kind of talked about the show that they bring on experts to kind of talk them through,
Quote unquote experts.
quote unquote.
Mhm.
Well, there was a gentleman at the beginning. I cannot remember his
Pastor
name.
Cal.
Pastor Cal. Is he like the from The Bachelor, the Jesse Palmer? Is he like our Jesse Palmer? Is Pastor Cal? Does he no? Oh, he's just like
Mm-mm.
he's just one of the experts.
He's a pastor.
Okay.
So he kind of gives, a little, well, not so much as the clergyman type of advice that these people probably need, but he's kind of like the voice of reason, like, okay, this doesn't make sense. Why are you feeling this way? But okay, so it's him, it's Pastor Cal, Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper is probably about as tall as a munchkin, but
Okay.
she packs a power. She's an older lady, so she's like
Okay.
70 something. You wouldn't know it if you when you're looking at her. And I think you saw Dr. Pepper because they were like she was a short hair, well, medium length hair
I
woman.
it might have been fleeting, but
Yeah,
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 I think so.
where she
Yeah.
came in, okay, these couples have been married X amount of days and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Got it.
But she is very direct and she will call you out on some stuff, right?
Okay.
Um, but not when it's absolutely needed. So, like, if she were sitting across from Lindy, like, Lindy, why did you talk to Miguel like that? What did you think was going to happen? What were you like? Questions like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, there and this is what I had asked you during the Bachelorette. Like, do they have experts like that that could kind of guide them?
Yeah,
Yes.
not like this. Not
Yeah.
like this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like very focused. And it's interesting too, right? Because you can totally tell this with Miguel and Kristen, right? Where for this show, it seems like they're casting for people who like well, it's all kinds, right? But even for Mitch, it's like we can get this guy on camera and it'll be something for the audience to
Mm-hmm.
watch.
Oh
But
yeah.
but you would never in a million years see these people on The Bachelor, Bachelorette, because they're casting for like we want the hottest people who are
Mm-hmm.
photogenic and like
Mm-hmm.
who are like literally Instagram models who are meant to be on camera. Like it's very specific casting. But like for Married at First Sight, it's like we're gonna get people and we're gonna see all their weird like warts and all. We're just gonna see how these people are, and
Mm-hmm.
it is fascinating to watch, right? And Love
Mm-hmm.
is Blind was like that too, where it's like it's just people, and sometimes it doesn't work out. It really,
Right.
it typically doesn't work out. I don't know if you saw the news this week, but both
Oh my
couples from
gosh,
Love is Blind got
yes.
divorced.
Good job. Okay, so I wasn't shocked with what's the
Was it Danielle?
Danielle.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Danielle and Nick. Hmm.
I wasn't surprised by that because I don't even know why they got married in the first
Yeah,
place
right.
because she needed some kind of counsel from
Yeah,
the gate. She was batshit
and
crazy.
he needed to be punched in the teeth. So
So I was getting a whole nother vibe from him. I don't
I
think you like women.
oh, mm, mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Mm-hmm. So it's not
yeah.
just me.
No,
Uh-huh.
that's why I think you need to get punched from the teeth
right,
because I
right,
think he might be like quasi misogynist.
right. And then Ayana and Jared.
Jared. Yep.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked because I follow them on Instagram
Okay.
and they had just had celebrated their anniversary and they were
Yeah.
just so in love. And then you see her go live and he's in the comments and I'm like, well, what happened? But
Hmm.
she was his second choice and she dealt with some insecurities. It's
And
weird.
it's just people, right? And that's how
Mhm.
I feel with like this show. That's how I feel about
Mhm.
Married at First Sight, where it's like
Mhm.
we're just seeing people, right?
Mhm.
And like it
Mhm.
just feels very curated,
Yeah.
which I think makes it like a good show.
Yeah.
I could see how you're like a day oneer. Um, it's I'm not a day one Bachelor person because I was like 12, 11
Oh yeah, when it
when
came
the
out,
Bachelor,
yeah, a little
but
too
like
young.
I'm like day one of like when they really pivoted the show to more of like it's now just a certain type of person, and I've been watching since like 2012. So
Okay.
oh my god, 10 years. Oh my god, I should probably stop. But yeah,
Oh
but now
my
now
god.
I got another one. I don't know that I would watch because like it. You know what it is? It's for this. It's not the show. It's the people.
It's the
I'm like I
people.
have to watch you weirdos
Mhm.
and see what
Mhm.
happens.
Yeah.
Um,
So Kristen and Mitch.
mm, they're a no. And poor Kristen, man, because she, oh yeah, boy, yeah. Like it's. I feel like if it was like almost any other guy who like she would want to like make happy and make it worth, I'd be like cool. But Mitch is the wrong one.
Mhm.
Um, I one thing I'll say about the show too that I like about the casting. So it's all kinds of people, right? We got all kinds of like backgrounds, ethnicity, people who play D&D, right? It's just like all these people. I
Right.
have to say, as Mitch being, I think Mitch is like the only white guy, right? Um, right? Because it's
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he is, isn't he?
So like as a white guy, I'm like, damn, I wish it was someone else caping up for us, like being the guy on the show. I'm like, oh, like anyone else, you're the worst. Like you're
Well,
awful.
oh no, that's not, honey. There have been worse.
Real oh
Oh
man.
gosh, there have been worse.
Oh, I can't imagine. Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they find him though, because it's great television, right? I'm sure like The Bachelor, these producers probably have it down to a science. They know. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
imagine the casting call for this. Um
Yeah, I think I said it before.
I
They have it set in one area. I don't
mhm.
think you necessarily have to live in that area, but just be willing to uproot and live there during taping.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there that's a lot of these people. I think Mitch, Kristen, and maybe Lindy are like the true Californians.
Okay, but the rest,
But the rest,
yeah.
I don't. I
That
think Stasha. Stasha, I think she's from California. No, I don't
okay.
even know. I don't even know. I don't know, but I know Nate isn't. Justin is from Alabama. Alexis is from New Jersey.
Oh man, that's some Alabama to California. That's a culture shock, man.
Yeah,
That's, whew. You
yeah,
like
which
you, man.
yeah, which is weird because I feel as though they need to give it some background, like what brought you here. And I guess
I know.
yeah, yeah, because I don't even think they've either ever said or given or revealed, shall I say, revealed people's originating location in the
Oh,
past.
interesting.
Yeah, so it's just like, well, how'd you get here? Because that was never been a question on the other seasons.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know, maybe because I'm a little more tapped in because I'm from California,
Yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah,
can see it like, what, why, how? So I don't know. It's just
yeah.
weird. It's just
That's it takes a special breed for that,
it
and you
does.
gotta uproot everything. Like I couldn't. Like I don't know if I were in the scenario where I would go on a Married at First Sight. Like I couldn't just leave my job for 2 months.
Right.
Probably longer. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's a lot. Like, and that's the thing. These people are probably going through crazy amount of stuff in their personal life to, like go on the show and go through this. That like you got to be sure,
Mm-hmm.
not to tease out the Roses and Rejections bit that I'm, sure we'll be talking about. Maybe people might hear in the future. But the one girl whose dad has cancer. That's time you're missing. Like, I hopefully none of these people are in that scenario. But man, you got stuff going on in your life. If you don't, then you probably shouldn't be on the show because you're not in a place where you get married.
You know
Uh,
what? I didn't even think about that with the Bachelorette, but I'm glad you
yeah.
brought that up, and that's going to be one of our talking points.
Oh my gosh. It bothers me. It bothers me. I mean, like I don't wanna like judge people and stuff like that. Like I get people like got your reasons, da da da. But
Yeah,
man,
and
time
they
is
have their own way of dealing with grief because it is a
yeah.
form of grief because it's gonna it's not gonna
Yeah.
end kind of
Ti-
well, but
Time is
yeah,
precious.
it
I
is.
don't know.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm
So
with you. I feel the same way. So
yeah. So if you're gonna go 8 weeks on a show of Married at First Sight, you better be sure, You know
Mhm.
who you are.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm. Yeah. So it's safe to say that you feel as though Kristen and Mitch are gonna make it.
I don't think so. I, it's weird. Like, I think they could both say yes at the end of the time on this show. So if that counts as making it, then yes. But there's no way 2 years from now they're still married.
Oh yeah, we said that
Because
too. We're just like they may
okay,
say yes at decision day, but they're not gonna. It's not gonna last.
because Kristen, I don't think she'll see the light in terms of I need to get out of this horrible relationship.
Mhm.
And Mitch has no reason to say no. From his perspective, this
Mhm.
is a dream come true.
Great. It's great.
I
Even
found
though, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I found an attractive young woman who will do whatever I want.
Yeah. And then the whole party thing, you just kind of gave in. Like I thought the French idea was cute. I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Oh, I had one note about the party because I love when TV shows do this. So I forget what it was, if it was like a soda fountain or water fountain or just something made for the party. This is the DLX 4000, and Kristen was kind of being like cheeky with it, and
Right.
they gave it a Chiron.
Yes.
I love when
Yes.
shows do that. I love when
Yes.
shows give inanimate objects a Chiron or
Mhm.
animals. Huge fan of
Mhm. Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
But I'm like, oh, like they're having fun with it. This is playful. Um, I want, hopefully next time Kristen does get what she wants, because Mitch seems a little controlling.
A little.
Ugh. And she's unfortunately accommodating. It's like a perfect storm. Ugh.
Mhm. Mhm. We'll see.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
shall
wait for
see.
you to follow through. I can't wait.
I'm there's no way I could watch this episode and be like, all right, I'm done. I just got to see how all this shakes out.
Oh, well, good. We're gonna have you back.
Good,
Mhm.
good, good,
Mhm.
good. I cannot
Mhm.
wait. I can't wait to
Yep.
speak with the rest of the crew as
I know.
well.
I want you to meet the king too. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
this is
you
gonna
will
be
love him.
awesome.
You will have fun.
Good.
You guys
Oh,
will
I'm
love each
excited.
other.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, any other lasting words on the show?
This was fun. Like, the podcast was fun. Watching the show was fun. I'm so glad that I get to be a part of this and got to watch it. I'm always in for more reality television. It's hard with shows like In Progress. I'm like, oh, am I gonna get it? Ba-da-da. But
Yeah, I knew you
this was
would get it. It wouldn't take. It wouldn't. You're not that far along to where you would feel completely lost. Like, what am I getting into?
yeah, and this felt like a good entry point
Hmm.
where all I missed was like I missed the honeymoon and wedding, but I feel like all of the stressors and things that came up have been reappearing or brought up again. So
Right.
yeah,
Hmm.
I felt good. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
really
and
fun.
that's where when we generally start the podcast. After the weddings, after the honeymoon, and maybe the first week of them living together. Because again, like you said, that's when all of the shit starts to hit the
Yeah.
fan. Okay. Well, I look forward to having you back.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for checking in with us for yet another week. We'll probably be back within the next couple of weeks to kind of check in with you all. I don't think that we're going to wait until the end of the season, like decision day, to come back, but I'm hoping that I could get everybody back together before then. So definitely keep checking us out right here on Pop Break TV as well as popbreak.com and all other social media platforms under Live, Laugh, and Lovey. Subscribe, share, like, tell your friends, tell your family.